Detectives Luke Roberts, as the new Hudson, and Rex look into the death of a businessman discovered on his yacht in Hudson and Rex Season 8, Episode 10, named, Best Kind. The gang is working against the clock to save another life in the story, which centers on a missing, precious watch and a fugitive deckhand. Plot emphasis: the investigation of the dead businessman and the lost watch is the main emphasis of this episode, which focuses on high-stakes, maritime-based crime. Team dynamics. Under pressure to solve the case, the team, of whom Luke Roberts is now the lead, works to find a solution. Key elements: the team's investigative abilities are highlighted as the suspense increases as the inquiry moves beyond the initial murder to a larger, more pressing issue. Note, since Season 8 is presently under production and will air in 2025 with a new lead actor, the search results indicate that there may be confusion in the prompt between different season formats. The information above is taken from the IMDb episode listing for Season 8. In Hudson and Rex's Season 8, Episode 10, Best Kind, the duo looks into a high-stakes murder case involving a wealthy businessman who was discovered dead on his yacht. Synopsis of the episode. The incident: when a businessman's death is found on his yacht, the case starts. The main person of interest is a deckhand who was on board the ship and promptly leaves the scene. The investigation. Sarah and Jesse, along with Detective Mark, discover that the victim has lost a costly watch. As they follow the link between when it becomes apparent that someone else's life is in imminent danger, the case takes a turn for the worst, involving the missing watch and the suspects. The team dynamic: after John Reardon's, Charlie Hudson, departure, this episode carries on the Season 8 shift. Mark, played by Luke Roberts, leads the investigation alongside Rex, now played by Diesel's nephew, Dylan. Subplots: as the investigation progresses, the episode discuss. Scene 2, the argument escalates as Patricia accuses Topher of trespassing on her property. Tensions increase as their argument becomes personal. Birdwatchers like Rex and other organization members participate by sharing their observations of different birds in the marshlands of Newfoundland. Scene 3, the found body. Detective Jesse learns of a body discovered in the marshes through birdwatching hourists. Patricia McGee, a local birder who had just battled with Topher over the Red Crossbills, is identified as the victim. Detective Mark observes the anxiety surrounding the endangered species and the tense interaction between the birders. Examining the crime scene in Scene 4. Patricia's body is discovered by the detectives at the crime scene, strangled by her own binocular strap. They become suspicious of Topher after learning that she was last seen bickering with him a few days prior to her passing. Scene 5, the victim's background. Colin, the person who discovered the body, talks about how he just recently started birdwatching and the tense environment that surrounded Patricia's love of defending the Red Crossbills. As Mark and Jesse delve farther into Patricia's past, they learn about her turbulent union with Jedediah McGee. Scene 6, the inquiry proceeds. The investigators learn about Patricia's financial difficulties and how her love of birds may have influenced her decision to acquire land. Together with her notebooks, they find a ruby ring, which begs the question of its worth and importance. Scene 7, a case turning point. The investigation identifies a jeweler who attests to the ruby's value and raises the possibility of murderous motivations involving her husband, Jedediah. They discover that Jedediah had previously participated in a robbery prior to his disappearance as they delve deeper into the past. Scene 8, growing tension. As the police pursue fresh information about the birdwatchers who could have seen anything important, tensions increase. One of the most. Scene 11, concluding and contemplating. When the hidden diamonds are found and the criminals are apprehended, the investigation comes to an end. The investigators consider how Patricia's commitment to the Red Crossbills ultimately resulted in her untimely death, but it also cleared the path for the birds' continued protection. As the community rallies to protect the avian species, the area will be turned into a sanctuary in remembrance of Patricia's legacy. Commonly asked questions. Who is Patricia McGee? What caused Patricia to pass away? In Patricia's murder, who were the primary suspects? What was discovered at the scene of the crime? How did the ruby ring represent something? What were the investigators looking into?